a bit of a shock. However much one tries to prepare oneself for something like this, it's still a dreadful shock, and we're still trying to come to terms with that.
No matter how much one tries to get themselves ready for something like this, it still comes as a bit of a surprise. A shocking and emotional farewell from Buckingham Palace has just left everyone speechless. Prince Edward has just stunned the world with his farewell in Buckingham Palace. A heartbreaking departure was made by the royal just a few moments ago, which has caused widespread surprise and profound emotion all over the world. However, why would Prince Edward, who is considered to be one of the most cherished members of the royal family, choose to part ways with such a renowned location? Please stay with us as we delve into this incredible moment, dissect the specifics, and investigate the implications that this has for the future of the royal family. The history of Prince Edward. Prince Edward, the youngest son of Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip, has been held in high esteem within the British royal family for a very long time. It was a departure from tradition that he was the first royal child to receive an education at a state school. He was born on March 10, 1964. His path within the royal spotlight has been somewhat different from that of his siblings, despite the fact that he was raised under the watchful eye of multiple media outlets. In contrast to Prince Charles, Princess Anne, and Prince Andrew, who all assumed prominent public roles at an early stage in their careers, Prince Edward carved out his own niche by concentrating on a variety of charitable endeavors and doing royal duties that were less public. Prince Edward, who is known for having a personality that is both reserved and engaging, has frequently been regarded as the member of the family who steers clear of unneeded drama. His early years were marked by a passion for the arts, and he even pursued a career in television production before formally joining royal duties in the late 1980s. His early years were notable for their passion. Prince Edward, in contrast to other members of the family, endeavored to balance his royal responsibilities with a more private life, putting an emphasis on his personal interests, such as going to the theater and volunteering for charitable organizations. In 1999, he established the production company Ardent Productions, which was a manifestation of his passion for the arts and his aspiration to bring his own creative vision to fruition. As a result of the death of his father in 2021, Prince Edward was given the title of Duke of Edinburgh, which marked the beginning of a significant change in his public image. He has been seen accompanying his mother, the Queen, and his brother, Prince Charles, at major state events and royal engagements more frequently. This is because his role as the Duke now carries with it a greater responsibility than it did before. It is because of this that many people have the impression that Prince Edward is a subtly influential member of the family. He is someone who steps up when it is necessary, but he does not seek the spotlight like some of his more prominent relatives do. In spite of this sense of quiet dignity, however, no one could have possibly anticipated the shocking moment that occurred today. The departure that we are about to discuss has caused many people to raise the question, what does this mean for his future within the royal fold? Let's take a look at how Prince Edward's farewell transpired as we move on to the emotional moment that we are experiencing currently. The emotional farewell. Just a few moments ago, Prince Edward left Buckingham Palace, and at that moment, the sight was nothing short of heartbreaking. His departure carried an undeniable weight because he was one of the few remaining members of the royal family who had grown up with such close ties to the iconic palace all throughout his early years. His emotional farewell was both heartfelt and unexpected, and it has left those who follow the royal family as well as the general public in a state of shock. The moment occurred as the Earl of Wessex was seen slowly walking away from the palace grounds, his eyes briefly lingering on the iconic gates. The scene took place in London, which was characterized by heavy gray skies. In spite of the fact that there were no words spoken, the scene seemed to convey a great deal of meaning because it was filled with quiet reflection and profound emotion. It appeared as though Prince Edward, who was dressed in a suit that was both simple and elegant, was struggling to hold back tears as he took one final look at the residence that had served as his royal residence for 30 years. This gesture felt almost like an emotional reckoning for someone who has spent a significant portion of his life living in the shadow of his siblings who have been more prominent in the public eye. This was not simply a farewell to Buckingham Palace. Rather, it was a moment of symbolic significance, perhaps a conclusive acknowledgement of the changes that have taken place in the royal family over the course of the past few years. A significant change in the landscape occurred when Prince Philip passed away in 2021, and Queen Elizabeth II passed away just over a year later, in September 2022. Both of these events occurred in 2021. Although he was the youngest son, Prince Edward had always been considered by his parents to be a calming presence in their lives. People were aware of the close relationship that he shared with both his mother and his father, and it appears that this departure represents a personal and emotional step forward for the prince as he comes to terms with the transitions and losses that have occurred within the family. There is no doubt that Prince Edward has been profoundly impacted by the weight of these changes. Through the passing of his father, Prince Philip, in April of 2021, he was deprived of the unwavering patriarch who had been present throughout his entire life. As Edward worked alongside Prince Philip to support the Duke of Edinburgh's award, Prince Philip had been a guiding figure in Edward's life, particularly in his younger years. This was especially true during the time when Edward was younger. During the months that followed the passing of his father, Prince Edward assumed even more responsibilities within the royal family, taking on roles that had previously been held by his father. On the other hand, this significant change in his life did not come without its emotional toll. Then, in the year 2022, Queen Elizabeth II, who had ruled for 7 decades, passed away, leaving a void in the royal family that could never be filled. Not only did this mean that Prince Edward had to say goodbye to his cherished mother, but it also signified the conclusion of an era. As a result of the new King Charles III taking control of the family, the dynamic within the family has undergone yet another transformation. It would appear that Prince Edward's departure from Buckingham Palace is not only a personal step towards his future, but also a symbolic break from the past. In the moment that he took those last steps away from the palace, there was a feeling that this emotional farewell was more than just a farewell to a location. Rather, it was a farewell to the life that he had known for such a significant amount of time. It was a life that, despite all of its splendor and tradition, had also been marked by loss, change, and a profound sense of duty. The reactions of the public and members of the royal family, the emotional farewell that Prince Edward gave from Buckingham Palace, has been met with nothing short of overwhelming responses from the public as well as the royal family. They have expressed their shock, sadness, and support for Prince Edward. An outpouring of emotions has been sparked as a result of Prince Edward's departure, which has reverberated throughout royal circles and across social media platforms. Many people believed that they would never see this moment. The royal family has been characterized by reactions that are intensely, deeply personal. It is abundantly clear that this farewell was not only about the physical departure from Buckingham Palace, but also about the emotional weight that it carried for those who were closest to Prince Edward. Despite the fact that the majority of the family's reaction has been measured and has taken place behind closed doors, his older siblings, King Charles III and Princess Anne, have been quick to express their unconditional support. Nevertheless, in the days that followed the event, royal sources confirmed that King Charles had communicated with his younger brother, Prince Edward, in order to acknowledge the significance of this moment for Prince Edward. Prince Edward has always been known for his close relationship with his parents, Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip. It is important to note that this relationship has always been known. Following the death of his father, the prince found himself in a position within the royal family that was more prominent than before. On the other hand, this did not lessen the feeling of loss. The connection that Prince Edward had always shared with the most important figures in the monarchy was one that was both subtle and profound. When these recent tragedies are taken into consideration, the emotional farewell from Buckingham Palace cannot be viewed in isolation any longer. While it was a decision that was made on a personal level, it was also profoundly influenced by the significant shifts that took place within the royal family. On the other hand, Princess Anne, who is well known for her straightforward approach, has been one of the most outspoken supporters of Prince Edward throughout his journey through the royal family. They have frequently regarded their close relationship as a source of strength for both of them, particularly during the period in which they were navigating the transitions that followed the passing of their mother. She has stood by Edward in this moment, quietly acknowledging the significance of the change, despite the fact that Anne herself has been through her own emotional struggles, including the death of her mother. The fact that the royal family has not issued any public statements only serves to emphasize the personal nature of this farewell. However, it is undeniable that their private support has been felt nevertheless. An outpouring of admiration, respect, and sympathy has flooded social media platforms in response to Prince Edward's emotional farewell. The public's reaction has been just as poignant as the farewell itself. A large number of people, including members of the general public and followers of the royal family, have been quick to express their opinions regarding the current situation. There have been many people who have praised Prince Edward for his quiet dignity, and his willingness to step away from such a famous location in the face of personal loss and change. Numerous individuals who have been following his journey over the years have felt a strong emotional response to the image of him leaving Buckingham Palace and looking back for the very last time. Observers and commentators of the royal family have taken to a variety of media outlets to discuss the significance of the moment, with many of them suggesting that it signifies the end of an era. Buckingham Palace has served as the center of the British monarchy for many years, and the fact that Prince Edward has left it in such a heartfelt manner is seen by many as a symbolic end to the royal family, as it was in the past. There has been a sense of understanding that Prince Edward's departure is a necessary step for him, both as a royal figure and as an individual coping with enormous loss and change. This has been expressed by the public in equal measure to the amount of sadness that has been expressed by the public. There has been an outpouring of tributes on social media from individuals who admire the unassuming contributions that Prince Edward has made to the royal family. Many people have pointed out that his departure represents a shift, not only within the royal family, but also within the nation as a whole. Fans have recalled his commitment to charitable work, his low-profile public appearances, and his role behind the scenes in providing support for the many. There have been some commenters who have expressed a sense of nostalgia, while others have praised Prince Edward for making the courageous decision to move on from such a significant place in his life. In addition to the reactions of individuals, organizations, and charitable organizations that have collaborated closely with Prince Edward have also come forward to express their support. Through his participation in the Duke of Edinburgh's award and a variety of youth-focused initiatives, he has garnered a great deal of respect, and numerous organizations have posted messages of encouragement and well wishes on their respective Twitter accounts. In addition to highlighting Prince Edward's commitment to service and his unobtrusive contributions to British society, these tributes shed light on the influence that Prince Edward has had beyond the realm of the royal family. As is the case with all significant royal events, the press has been quick to cover this emotional departure, and media outlets all over the world have been reporting on the significance of the moment. The emotional nature of the farewell has been brought to the attention of the media, and some individuals have speculated about the future of Buckingham Palace itself in light of this departure. The media has also acknowledged that Prince Edward's departure could be seen as part of a larger shift within the monarchy in the post-Queen Elizabeth era. They have drawn comparisons to other significant moments in royal history, acknowledging that some of these moments have occurred in the past. Not only does Prince Edward's departure from Buckingham Palace mark the end of a chapter for him, but it also marks the end of a chapter for the monarchy as a whole. This departure is significant for a number of reasons. Over the course of several decades, the palace has been represented as the center of royal life, and for Prince Edward, it has been a location that is replete with memories, significant milestones, and responsibilities. His heartfelt farewell is more than just a physical departure. It is a reflection of the profound changes that are taking place within the royal family as a result of the deaths of both Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip. A significant amount of change has occurred within the family as a result of these losses, not only in terms of leadership, but also in terms of roles and responsibilities. Due to the fact that Prince Edward is the youngest son of the Queen, his life has frequently been relegated to the background in comparison to the more prominent roles that his siblings have played. On the other hand, over the course of the past few years, he has assumed a more prominent and active role within the monarchy, lending his support to important royal initiatives and advocating on behalf of his parents. His departure is a representation of the changing dynamic within the royal family, which is characterized by the next generation taking on more prominent roles. It is a clear indication that Prince Edward, despite the fact that he is still deeply connected to the monarchy, is attempting to carve out his own future, apart from the towering presence of the palace institution. This move is not simply about leaving a home. Rather, it is a sign of the personal changes that Prince Edward is going through. He is trying to strike a balance between this move and his desire to start a new chapter in his life. In light of the fact that King Charles III is currently in the process of transitioning the monarchy, the question arises as to what the future holds for him. Next, let's dig deeper into that. The next step for Prince Edward is unknown. As we shift our focus to the future, there is a significant question that must be answered. The next step for Prince Edward is unknown. Following his tearful departure from Buckingham Palace, it is abundantly clear that a new phase of his life is about to commence. On the other hand, what exactly will this subsequent phase look like? Despite the fact that Prince Edward has always been a devoted member of the royal family, In recent years, he has gradually begun to carve out a life that combines his royal responsibilities with the things that he is passionate about. Prince Edward has continued his father's important legacy by serving as the head of the Duke of Edinburgh's award, a role that he has embraced with great commitment. He has done this by encouraging young people to participate in leadership roles and community service. Being in this position is something that he is genuinely enthusiastic about, and it is highly probable that he will continue to devote his attention to charitable causes, particularly those that are concerned with the growth of young people. Given his profound interest in influencing the future of young people, there is the possibility that he will broaden the scope of his work on a global scale, thereby generating new opportunities for young people all over the world to develop, acquire knowledge, and contribute to society. However, this raises the question of his royal responsibilities going forward. Especially in recent years, Prince Edward has frequently been relegated to the background in comparison to his older siblings. This is because he is the youngest child of Queen Elizabeth II. Prince Edward may now find himself stepping into new roles, albeit in a more subdued and behind-the-scenes capacity, as a result of the passing of Queen Elizabeth and the rise of King Charles III. Although it is possible that he will never be able to take the spotlight like his brother, the king, due to his reserved nature, he has the potential to make a significant impact in ways that are less public, but still very significant. There is a possibility that Prince Edward could take on even more responsibility in the form of charitable work or royal foundations. It is possible that he will be asked to oversee new initiatives or to attend important royal events that are connected to charitable efforts. This is because he is already deeply involved in these causes. There is also the possibility that he will choose to concentrate more on his personal life, withdrawing further from the public eye in order to spend more time with his family and work on his own projects. In any case, Prince Edward will have the chance to develop both as an individual and as a member of the royal family in the not-too-distant future, which will bring him exciting new opportunities. Taking all of this into consideration, what do you believe Prince Edward's future holds? What are your thoughts on whether he will take on additional public royal duties or whether he will prioritize his personal pursuits more? Please share your thoughts with us in the comments section. In the event that you have found this breakdown to be enjoyable, please ensure that you click the notification bell, subscribe to the channel, and hit the like button.